Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Mellow Mama, and today I'll be sharing 12 tips to help you be more productive. We all know the value and precious nature of time. We all want to use our time as effectively as we possibly can, but I think I can speak for most of us when I say sometimes there are distractions, dumb distractions. You might find yourself just scrolling on Instagram for who knows how long. You might find yourself watching like 3 to 5 episodes of a new Netflix show or an old, very old Netflix show. Although those are the two most common things I hear people talk about, there are a ton of things that get in the way from us using our time wisely and taking advantage of the days that we've got. The following 12 tips are coming from a very authentic place. They sincerely help me be more productive, have more brain power, they reduce stress and anxiety in my life, and of course, they help me be more creative and productive throughout my days. Hopefully they'll do the same for you. Let's get started. The first thing that you've got to do in order to be productive is know what's up. What's happening that day for you? What's happening that week, that month, that year? You need to get that on paper or on some sort of calendar. I use a physical planner as well as my Apple Calendar. You can use Google Calendar, you can use TimePage. There are so many good options for this, but make sure that you write down your obligations. What's going on for you? What time do you have to take your kid to the library? What time are you going to lunch? What time are you going to work, edit, plan? Make sure to write down any events, appointments, when I'm shooting or working, when I need to create new content, when I need to publish new content, different outings and activities with Donovan, and even sometimes my meals and how I'm going to cook for that week. I make sure to write down any appointments, events, work photo shoots, when I need to make new content, when I need to publish new content, outings and activities with Donovan, and my workouts. If you are using a mobile option or a desktop option like Apple Calendar or Google Calendar, I would totally take advantage of the color coding system. It's just a nice way for things to stick out and keep you on your toes. When all of your plans and obligations are written down, you're not going to get a call from somebody saying, where are you? Or why are you an hour late? Or why didn't you show up? Write everything down, color code it, then set an alarm. My next tip is to actually read self-help books. I talk about all of the books that I read all the time on my channel, but one thing that I really barely ever touch on is all the self-help books that I read. I used to read like 3 books a week and sometimes more, and now it's reduced to about 1 to 2, but I love books, and there's nothing better than learning from somebody else's mistakes, especially somebody who is a multimillionaire or a billionaire. So don't be ashamed to pick up some book written by some guy or girl with a title that you might perceive as embarrassing. There is nothing more embarrassing than knowing your potential and not taking advantage of it. These books are going to help you unlock your potential, understand new things about yourself, new skills that you didn't know you had. More than that, the people that wrote these books are going to become your mentors. You want to learn from people that are better than you in some regard. If you can't get this person to have lunch with you, at least read what they have to say. Read their experience and understand what helped them get to where they're at. Not to mention, if you're looking to be more productive, self-help books are usually really inspiring. They make you want to get up and just go and start doing and creating and fulfilling that potential. I'm going to talk a little bit specifically about different self-help books throughout these tips, but some of my all-time favorites are Tribe of Mentors by Tim Ferriss, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, Peter F. Drucker's Managing Oneself, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki, and of course The 4-Hour Workweek. I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger's book Total Recall just because I noticed that anything in his life that he really desired, he went for it full force and he obtained it. And when you read from people like that, you get inspired, you get motivated to get up and build some momentum. So pick up self-help books or autobiographies from people that have worked really hard and accomplished a lot. Speaking of Tribe of Mentors by Tim Ferriss, I learned this tip from that particular book and I really thought it was super weird at first, but I love this app called Brain FM. It simply offers a variety of music selections based on whatever mental state you're hoping to get into or that you're in, so meditation, sleep, just recharging, relaxing, or working. It's been surprisingly effective for me, and I'm somebody that isn't necessarily easily distracted, but normally with music I can't work, but this actually helps me stay right on track. I notice a significant difference in my days depending on whether or not I've exercised or not, but especially if I've worked out in the morning. I love getting up by 5:30 and being at the gym at least 6 o'clock. It makes a tremendous difference in my mental capacity for the day, my ability to just focus, hone in, and be productive. Along with all of the obvious physical benefits from exercise, your brain also gets a major boost. Regular exercise is proven to increase your memory and your thinking ability, but in general, for me, I like to think of the momentum that happens, that builds when you're exercising. Every rep, you're pushing harder. Every set, you're pushing yourself to another level. And when you build momentum like that, it sort of trickles into the way you're thinking about life in general. And I think, personally for me, it has a big effect on how you tackle your regular tasks, your work, and your interactions throughout your day. That same author, Tim Ferriss, writes about how people are misunderstanding the busy versus productive concept in their daily lives, especially if they're working a 9-to-5 job. He asks that we assess what work we're actually getting accomplished. Are we just looking busy or creating busy work for ourselves, or are we actually being productive? Are we actually getting something done? Are we creating something worthwhile? The work week in general is starting to look a little bit different from what I understand, because people are getting this concept more and more that it doesn't necessarily matter what time frame we're working with. If things are done correctly, they're done in a timely manner, and they're done in a beautiful way. So if you're somebody that's working really hard to build something, or you've got your own business, or even if you are working a 9-to-5 job, make sure that you're assessing what you're really doing when you're working. Are you being productive, or are you just looking busy? And if you're just looking busy and you've already finished your tasks, go home or go do something fun or create something else. I always talk about the importance of routine, and it's really important when it comes to productivity. Your calendar will clearly come into play when it comes to this particular tip, but in general, when you don't have a routine, your day can look kind of messy, it'll get away from you, and you'll have a tendency to think, wait, okay, what am I doing right now? What was I supposed to be doing? And you want to avoid that in order to be productive. I discuss routine pretty often, especially because I'm a mom, but it's more important than ever when discussing productivity. When you're working through your calendar, when you're working with your calendar and writing down all of your obligations and your tasks and the work that you want to accomplish, think about what times of day or time of day is best for you to get into that workflow. For me, I personally choose every time that Donovan rests to work, whether it's tasks around the house like laundry, cleaning, etc., or if it's my YouTube channel or whatever I'm working on. Maybe I'm editing a photo shoot. When Donovan goes down to nap, I've already set up my things so that I can get to work right away. I film videos while he's sleeping. And once he's asleep for the night, I edit and sometimes publish. It is so easy to spend hours, literal hours, on your phone doing absolutely nothing but wasting your time. Of course, I love social media. I'm doing it as my job, so I'm not necessarily bashing it. At the same time, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that all people are utilizing these things way too frequently. I highly recommend downloading the app Moment. It tracks the amount of times you open your phone, it tracks the number of minutes or hours that you spend on your phone throughout your day, and it gives you a little analysis or breakdown at the beginning and end of your day. Also, it kind of tells me in the middle of my day, like, you've spent an hour less time on your phone, or an hour more, or 30 minutes more, and it's incredible to see how much time you really do spend on here. My average is 2 hours, and some days it's like 4 or 3. It's crazy, you guys. You've got to download the app, and I have the free version, and this is not sponsored. It's just something I'm so passionate about. Something that's really helped me refrain from abusing and overusing social media, because I do think of it as a drug. It's addictive and it's sort of numbing, is to refer to it and really view it as work. Set my phone on airplane mode when I'm going to sleep, and I do not take it off until I'm ready to start my workday. I don't look at my phone. I definitely don't look at Instagram or any type of social media in the morning before I'm ready to look at that as my work. And when I'm doing that, I like to make sure that I'm posting something effective, I'm actually sharing something worthwhile, and if I open it in another time, it's got to be some sort of organic moment that I really want to share with my friends, family, or you guys. I read a study that said that people today have a smaller attention span than a goldfish, and I was super ashamed thinking that maybe that applies to me because of social media and because of how much we use our phones and technology today. So undoubtedly, when we have our phone right in front of our face all day long, or while we're in a conversation, or while we're checking out at the grocery store, we are literally destroying our ability to think clearly and to focus. It would have a huge impact on your productivity level. So simply eliminate your phone as much as you can throughout the day if it's not work related, or if you're not really, connecting with another person. Men and women alike wear many different hats throughout their daily life, but especially if you're a mother and a woman, we've got a lot of work to do. Whether it's your career hat that you've got on, your wife hat, your mom hat, or your sister or friend hat, whatever it is, you can apply it to every realm of your life. Check out what hat we've got on in whatever moment we're in. Whether it's the mom hat and I'm playing with my son or I'm taking him somewhere, or if it's my career hat where I'm working on my footage or working on editing something or researching information for a new video. Or it's my sister hat when I'm spending time with my siblings or spending time with my parents and I'm wearing my daughter hat. Basically, you just want to make sure that you're 100% present and in that zone and not thinking about any of the other hats that you've got to wear throughout your day. If you're wearing your metaphorical wife hat and you're thinking to yourself, what can I do to be a better wife, or what can I do as a wife in this moment for my husband in order for us to have a more fulfilling, rich relationship, you can't also be thinking about your mom hat. This is especially relevant to me when I'm with my son and we go somewhere and I'm constantly thinking, but I haven't posted something, or but I haven't published something, or but I haven't gotten those portraits to that family yet. And I have to tell myself, Caitlin, take off the career hat, stop working, and put on your mom hat. Focus. And I know it might sound funny, but it's been really, really effective for me and it's helped me be more present. I love to use the app Minimalist for this one, and I'm going to link that one below also, but you can use a basic stopwatch or timer for this and it's just as effective. I do this with everything throughout my day, whether it's doing dishes and I set 10 minutes on the microwave clock, or I'm editing a video and I give myself exactly 45 minutes or 1 hour of solid work time where I'm not allowed to look at anything else, engage in anything else, but I've just got to be in the zone for that amount of time. The reason I like that Minimalist app is because if you try to touch your phone, it will mention to you that you're touching your phone and be like, please stop looking at me, get back to work, and I think that's really helpful. Honestly, I've been practicing time blocking for a really, really long time because as a kid with my siblings, when we would do our chores, I would make a game out of it by saying, okay, we've got this number of minutes, let's see if we can beat the clock. And it's just as effective and fun as an adult with whatever task you're doing. Remember with time blocking that it's mostly about just being focused for a really long stretch of time as opposed to really having to get something done by the end of it. It's fun if you can beat the clock, but I just like that I don't get distracted. It's great to have your to-do list. It should be exciting almost that, okay, I'm going to accomplish these things today and I can't wait to be finished with them, or I'll feel so productive once I've done them. But to-do lists can be super frustrating when you overload them and you make them completely unreasonable, which is something that I'm guilty of doing all the time. What has helped me is to prioritize my top 3 things for that day. It's much more realistic. It's usually actually possible for me to accomplish those tasks, and then at the end of the day I actually get to cross them off and I feel so fulfilled. As opposed to the days that I really overload my to-do list and I feel so down and drained at the end of the day when I look at my to-do list and think, wow, I got what, 2-3 things done? When I limit myself to 3 big things and I really do get them done at the end of the day, I'm like, yes, I did that. I'm awesome. I like to also remind myself daily that I am a parent, and even if you're not a parent, every person has regular, ordinary things that they have to do on a daily basis that are going to take away from those tasks. So factor those into whatever your priorities are for that day, your top 3. Mindful of the fact that you are handling a lot of things aside from your priorities, but when you've got those big 3, that list, it's much easier to actually tackle and get done what you need to really get done. Feel free to move other things that are on your mind that you really do want accomplished to the next day and have them be in that top 3 for that day. This is one of my personal favorites because it's super effective and easy to apply, and it's something you'll start thinking about up more and more as you apply it. The way that it works is if I'm in the middle of something and I see that a task could be accomplished in less than 2 or 5 minutes, I stop what I'm doing and I do that task right then and there without hesitation. Examples of this are simple things like if I need to send a client an email or correct something on my website or send somebody a comment on my YouTube channel, or if I need to send somebody a link to something. Those are all things that take such a quick amount of time, especially with the technology that we have today, that it doesn't need to be pushed to another time. I need to just get it out of the way right then and there, and I feel like it personally brings me so much peace of mind. Like, okay, one task out of the way, and it's so simple. This is also applicable to more physical things like in your daily life. I think if you want to do 5-minute ab workout before bed, just do it. Understand, okay, it's 5 minutes out of my day or it's 2 minutes out of my day. Let's just go for it. Set a timer and go. Or if you're cleaning up your house, like a few dishes in the sink are going to take less than 5 minutes to clean. Just get it out of the way. That way you have peace of mind. The book Managing Oneself by Peter F. Drucker is one of the most effective books that I've ever personally read, and I recommend it to everybody I know. It simply takes a look at the way you function as a human being when it comes to working and productivity. Through his writing, you get a better understanding of yourself, how you learn, how you work, where you should be, what your values are, what you should contribute. It also talks about the second half of your life as well as your relationships. In general, it is such an amazing book. One thing that I really gained from reading Managing Oneself is assessing my bad habits. Thanks to reading this book, I'm actually now a person that finishes what I start. Before reading it, I had a bad habit of being a half-doer. I would start all kinds of projects and have all sorts of ideas, but they would end up sort of like lost, and I would have all of these half-finished great things, great ideas and projects. And since reading his book, I've been somebody that actually finishes what I start. And who knows what your bad habit might be, but you could see how that could really impact my life for the better. So I highly recommend reading that book. But the main tip here is to know what kind of learner and worker you are, and also assess those bad habits. And that's it for my tips, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, I have a baby now. I realize he sort of just appeared out of thin air. I hope that these tips really help contribute to you being a more effective, productive person. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Okay. And as always, please subscribe. I talk about all things conscious living, whether it's parenting or something like this. I also share my workouts and some beauty stuff. See you next time.